I got a question. How the hell do you go from a Matthew Stafford-like deal to a 3 and a conditional 2? All right. Okay, bring it down. This snow's got me going a little crazy. Go away. All right, so let me try to calm down and think about this logically. You know, the fact that we, Eagles fans, were told that there was a Matthew Stafford-like package out there involving multiple ones, and a deal was in the making. It was already in the works, and it was just coming down in a matter of a couple days. All of a sudden, we went from that to there's no fair offer, to the Bears have the best offer, to Carson wants to go to the Colts, to this. Where we stand right now, where Carson Wentz is traded to Indianapolis for a 3rd-round pick and a conditional dude that could possibly be a 1, speaks not so much to Carson Wentz, but the ineptitude of the people truly to blame for this entire situation. Anybody care to guess? Howie Roseman and the Eagles front office. Look, whether you're a Carson guy or you're not a Carson guy, I think collectively as Eagles fans, we can all agree that the reason this trade was botched was because of the same reasons why the head coach situation was botched, why last season was botched, why the injuries just keep happening and keep botching that, why all the drafts were botched. It's the same people. It's Howie Roseman and the Eagles front office. Let's just put them to the side for a second. Before we go any further, I want to be fair, I want to be honest, and I want to be true. And I want to thank Carson Wentz for everything he's done for this organization, especially during that 2017 run that led us to the Super Bowl. Because make no bones about it, without Carson Wentz, there is no Eagles Super Bowl. Plain and simple. Carson Wentz set them up so Nick Foles could knock them down. Without that first-round bye, Nick Foles doesn't have enough time to prepare himself for the postseason run that he had. Remember, he didn't have a preseason because he injured his elbow in training camp. He needed that last 3 games as his preseason, and he needed an extra week to prepare in order to propel them forward into the playoffs. Without Carson Wentz, you don't get home field advantage. Do you really think that this Philadelphia Eagles team could have went on the road to Atlanta and beat them as close as that game at Lincoln Financial Field was? Do you? Do you think the Eagles could have went out on the road in front of that hometown crowd in Minnesota who was going to be hosting that Super Bowl and would have been the first team to host and play in a Super Bowl? Do you think the Eagles could have went out and beaten the Minnesota Vikings on the road? I don't think so. Unless Carson Wentz had the year that he had, Nick Foles doesn't exist. The Philly special doesn't exist. The parade down Broad Street doesn't exist. And that ring does not exist. And unfortunately, in football, as is in life, sometimes when you experience the highest of the highs, they're followed by the lowest of the lows. And post-Super Bowl, Carson Wentz's relationship with the organization, with his teammates, with the city, and with the fan base, soured. It went bad. It became toxic. For a lot of reasons. Injuries, which are nobody's fault. To poor play, which is Carson's fault. To poor coaching, which is Doug's fault. To poor drafting, which is Howie's fault. To drafting a backup quarterback and creating yet another quarterback controversy, which is, again, Howie's fault. For the contract that they gave him, which was Howie's fault. To taking things personally and hurt feelings, like insecurities and always feeling like you got to prove something or look behind your back, which is Carson's fault. To the locker room situation where you have teammates snitching on Carson Wentz, which is the teammates' fault, the locker room's fault, and going to the media and the media just coming out with these clickbaity articles and this constant witch hunt towards Carson Wentz, which is the media's fault for a lot of different reasons. For everything from Carson to Howie to Doug to the media to the teammates to injuries to if you want to throw the fans in there, I absolutely hate fan blaming, but if you want to throw the fans in there, I don't give a shit at this point if you do or if you don't. It just became a big bowl of toxic bullshit. So you trade them. Listen, sometimes good people need a fresh start. Sometimes good people end up in a bad situation, and what's best for the both of them if they go their separate ways and flourish elsewhere. And you know what? That's okay. This is what's best for Carson. If you are truly concerned about the well-being of Carson Wentz, this is clearly what's best for Carson Wentz. He gets to be reunited with Frank Reich. The man gets a fresh start in a market that's not going to be so intense, with new teammates who he doesn't have a history with no backup quarterback looking behind his shoulder. This is what's best for Carson Wentz. So if you're a Carson supporter, this should be the best news you've heard yet. Or if you're a Carson Wentz hater, which some people might throw me in that category, and let's make one thing clear. If you do, I don't give a shit. Because my stance has been and always will be that if you don't want to be here in Philadelphia, you can hit the bricks. Plus, I like what I saw in Jalen Hurts. I believe that kid's got something special, and I believe he can get the job done. Or if the Eagles, sitting at the number 6 pick, want to pick a quarterback, they have the draft capital to now move up if they want to. So they can do whatever they want to do. But make no bones about it, I'm going to be rooting for number 11 in blue. Because if he plays 75% of the snaps for the Indianapolis Colts, or plays 70% of the snaps and makes the playoffs, in a division that has the dumpster fire of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, that number 2 becomes the number 1. Oh, yeah. You better believe. Go get him, Carson. Attaboy. C-O-L-T-A. Is that what they do in Indy? I don't even know what they do. I said, going into the offseason, and I stand by it, that this entire Eagles organization needed to be blown up, and the reset button needed to be pressed. And in order to do that properly, like, you can't half-ass the reset button. You can't just half-push the reset button in. You have to commit yourself to it, and 2 out of the big 3 needed to go. And I didn't give a shit if that meant that Howie got fired, Doug got fired, and they kept Carson. Or that Carson got traded, and Howie got fired, and they kept Doug. Or Doug got fired, Carson got traded, and Howie kept... I didn't care which one it is. 2 out of the big 3 needed to go. And here we are. And let me explain to you why Eagles fans shouldn't be that upset anymore about Howie Roseman remaining with this organization. Didn't see that one coming, did you? Because you can't blame the quarterback anymore. You can't blame the head coach anymore. If this thing doesn't get right, if this thing doesn't succeed, if the Eagles aren't back in contention by 2023, you can only blame one guy, Howie Roseman. Fix it or get lost like the rest of them. This thing will either succeed, which we as Eagles fans all want, or by his own design, Howie Roseman just wrote his own suicide note. It's about to get interesting.